Hello, everyone. Yeah, new hair, all changed. Ease, identity shift. Yeah, those of you who have known me for many years, 19 years ago, I think I had my hair this short. And prior to that, about 26 years ago, at my wedding, had it this short. Yeah, it's easier in a way. In a way, you have to style things now. So good to be here. So good to be here. I am aLex Levin, now with short hair. So, welcome. Thanks for joining me for our time together to pause, to put our forks down. You've heard that, right? That saying to those of us. It's very common that we eat too fast. Many of us, especially in our busy lives these days, and this idea to put your fork down between bites. The thumbnail is the vegan chocolate mousse I made last night that I don't think I put my spoon down when I ate it, but I didn't eat all of it. I ate half. I'm very rich. So, our time together, get what you need for comfort, for some. We'll be doing a seated movement on the floor. You can probably do it, mimic the same shape in a laying down on your back. Uh, we'll be grounding first, getting into our theme that guides us, doing a little bit of movement, a little bigger than lately. We've been doing a lot of just breath movement, a little bigger movement, but same spirit. And then we'll get still. So my space is a little cooler today. We're in that spring time here. By the way, those flowers, whoops, these white hyacinths, oh my gosh, I wish you could smell them. They're so, so, so fragrant. So someday maybe we'll be able to convey smell or some kind of electronic transmission where we stimulate that part of the brain, right? All right, so let's arrive. And while we arrive, I'm going to read you, I'd like to read this poem a couple times. I'm working on memorizing it, very short, but it's useful to hear a few times. And I've shared this one with you recently, at least in the notes. It's by Juan Ramón Jiménez. Very not sure of the pronunciation. Juan Ramón Jiménez. I am not I. I am the one sitting beside me whom you do not see, whom at times I visit and at times I forget. The one who rests calmly when I talk, the one who forgives gently when I hate, the one who is here when I am not, the one who will remain when I die. So this poem, it's a little bit changed. A couple words were changed by my teacher. Points for me to many things, but one of the ones I'd like to focus on today is the totality, like the eclipse coming up in April 2024 here in the northern hemisphere. Um, or maybe, yeah, I'm not sure how far reaching it will be. I guess on the whole planet, maybe. Not sure. Something to look into. Totality. How do we grasp our totality? And I think that's the essence of yoga. So I'm going to scoot back a little bit and just find your comfortable spot. Maybe, like me, you need a little bit of something warmer or have options. And arrive at this spot of real estate. where you are and we are together. So arriving, it helps. What I'm doing and inviting you to join me is to stop, to pause here, to hit pause. And hitting pause and pausing, slowing down is so much of what we do together here. But it is not the totality. It's sort of a doorway because of how we're wired for more go, for more survive, for more stay on, go to the next thing, the next bite. You never know when you'll be get catch another zebra. Arriving, and we perhaps you can sense into, ooh, breath is here with me, whom at times I visit, the one who rests calmly when I talk. Sensing how the body parts of you that we attend to our body quite easily, especially when it's in pain, when we wish it was somehow otherwise. But can we open a little more to a totality where we're noticing, even if the attention is focused as mine is right now on the base of my sitting position, touching the ground and the textures I feel there. Kind of keeping the peripheral sensing soft so that it's receiving other information that informs us about our totality. Sensing breath and sensing the space around us. Mine contains the sound of birds, the sound of our furnace, smell of the hy- hyacinth. Is that the right name? Yeah. The temperature of the air, slightly cool, and my sensing knowing contains the affect that I like the temperature like this. It's in my sweet zone. Not hot, not cold, just a little cool. In this bright, full windows room, the light is dim today as it's cloudy. And I also notice my own opinions about that too. So we notice this inner outer space helps connect everything as space leaves nothing out. No smells, no items, no temperature are excluded from space, from the space they're in. So notice now how after this bit of arriving, quite a bit, about 5, 6 minutes worth of what it feels like. how it feels. You don't have to be, rigorous like you're being accurate, yeah, you wanna be accurate, you wanna just, report what's here, and it could be something partial or something well, all of it will be partial as we speak. Everything we say in words is only part, but, it might be something in your body, it might be something in the way your energy feels, it might be something about how your mind feels. And modeling that, I'll say and say it out loud in your space if you feel comfortable doing that. There's a reason for that. So I'm feeling this warmth and a special sort of it's almost my lower back is sort of warm a little bit and it's almost like it's a cushion supporting me. Interesting because I'm a little sore there from some w- uh, weight training I did, some movements. But the soreness feels different now. It feels more like a warm, supportive cushion. And so it's very useful for us to notice the labels we're giving things. Here it was fresh, reporting something new, but so often our labels are kind of routine and not as accurate. They're sort of old news. They're not the new news. So let's shift into our movement, and I need to come off the cushion I'm sitting on. I don't know if you do this on your back or in a lying down on bed or something, you might need to figure it out. Just watch the shape. Well, my knees are over to the left. I call this a pinwheel shape. And I lean onto my left hand and arm. And my right knee is off of it's not on. You could have it sort of on your left inner ankle. That could be more comfortable for your knees and hips, and that's fine. And begin to bring your we do I've done this a lot with if you've been with me a while, you remember this. This is something I've learned, oh gosh, 25 years ago. Arm up at shoulder level from a pair of teachers, yoga teachers who came to our studio here in Arlington at Sun and Moon Yoga Studio. And they were very familiar with Feldenkrais. This is actually from Feldenkrais, but they taught it in their yoga workshop, Amba and Don Stapleton. And so as the arm freely, sometimes you see my wrist turning, moves side to side at this level, follow with your eyes and your head. And then at some point, let your head look the opposite way of the movement of the arm and hand. And make sure you're comfortable on the way your hand is on the ground. It could be on a fist, it could be up on your fingertips like spider-like. Oops, opposite, opposite. And then maybe a little brain shift there that you feel to shift. And let your eyes go deeper in the turn. My head's turning left. My eyes can go even deeper in their orbs. Right. You can have eyes open, closed. And then sync it back up. So arm, head, eyes all going the same direction. It might feel different now. And then just pause and sense the whole of yourself. When my teacher says this, there's often a little voice in me says, "How do I do that?" Which is a good question. How do I do that? So as if the lens needs to zoom out to take in more. It's a shift of perception. And let's take the same side just a moment before we do the other side, because something may have shifted after the pause, after we put our fork down. And my invitation here, and it's always my invitation to Sense the whole of yourself. So sense the hips, the low back. Let all the sensory data in that's coming in. Head and eyes going same direction. Eyes might go farther. And notice how this might feel different. It might feel different partly because of the pause, partly just because it's a minute later, partly because I've suggested the totality. And let it go. And just sit, maybe just come sit back to neutral, or you could stay where you are, side sitting. And here, listen, feel, sense, and report to yourself. What is the news here as we've put our fork down? You might realize I'm not that hungry, or we might remember I'd like to have more, but the way it feels, I remember the way it feels, and when I have the whole thing and it's not what I want. Mm, I just felt my belly tight, a little tight. And the moment I noticed it, I relaxed. I am noticing. So phrasing, I didn't do it with the first report, but phrasing, I am noticing gives me one level of removal from identification with that, just that small part. When we say my belly's tight, that's still a little removed because it's my belly, but I feel tight in the belly. It's kinda closer to it, so I am noticing that I feel tight in the belly. Nothing wrong with tight in the belly, it's supporting me, it was supporting me, but if it's chronic, if it's something we don't want to hold on to anymore, very useful to see it, see it, and have the choice open to us. Right, other side. And again, I think I said it earlier, but thank you for being here. I don't know if I've got anyone with me live, but I know you joined later, and I'm so grateful for it. All of us at Sun and Moon are grateful for you joining in with us. Okay, my knee's not liking this, so I'm going to stack my shin onto the instep of my lower leg, arm up at shoulder level, and let's do opposing right off the bat, opposing movement of head and arm and hand. And so in this noticing of everything, when everything's copacetic, it's harder actually to notice what might need some attention. But when you've got a tricky knee like mine that's saying, I'm kind of needing to, in fact, I might stretch her out. Um, yeah, so it gives us this option when we're attending to the peripheral. Hmm. And the movement we're looking for is smooth, harmonious. Harmony seems to imply like bringing all the parts together in the whole in a way, in a pleasing way, right? I remember taking piano lessons in the 1970s, and my teacher liked these modern music, and I wasn't used to the sort of strange arrangements that, right, let head and eyes and hand all go in the same direction. Eyes can go a little farther, you'll notice, than your head and neck, but you don't have to go to your deepest stretch. This is new learning for me of the last few years. I oppose arm and head and eyes. And now let the eyes go the direction of the arm while the head goes the direction opposite. And then everything together. Mm. To a neutral place. So adding unusual movements like that termed pattern interruption, and is very useful to breaking up patterns. And once again, kind of chopping them up enough so that we can have another choice. We need the patterns. The patterns are helpful, but super helpful to also start to realize we have another choice. And these things take time to take this learning, this insight that we get from ourselves, experience from our learning. I just heard a term this morning. Psychologists apparently call it the insight action gap. That we can know something, learn something, read about it, hear about it, believe it totally, and yet to put it into action takes time, takes some effort of practice, and thus practice. So where you are, you might just segue nicely. Exactly, you might not move hardly at all because you're very arrived where you are into our still portion. Might need a small adjustment as I've just made into the meditation. Now with my new AirPods, the bell doesn't work so well unless I have to shift modality. I haven't learned that yet. So I'll forgo the bell, even though it's here next to me. Maybe we can start with a bow to signify the beginning of our meditation practice. And commit to the stillness. It'll be about an 8-minute sit, or maybe you're laying down. The first few moments, you can just check in for what adjustments you feel and know from your experience might be the wiser positioning, the positioning that will allow stillness more easily. Support will support the shape. Check in with gravity, ground, breath, space around, sound as you need, or the tools that help you. Sense the flavors of stillness, the sensations, the resistances. Juan Ramón Jiménez, Yo no soy yo is the Spanish title. I am not I. I am the one sitting beside me whom you do not see, whom at times I visit and at times I forget. The one who rests calmly when I talk, the one who forgives gently when I hate, the one who is here when I am not, the one who will remain when I die. The one who sees the totality. I. And so without having to sacrifice any of the amazing parts of ourselves, all the parts, the amazing, the frustrating, familiar, the infinite. Our parts are infinite. And it's not that we have to give those up at all to move toward the yoga, toward the totality, but that we give some of our precious time as we are here together, supporting each other in this practice of recognizing the totality of ourself, which cannot be actually put into words, just pointed to. We can feel it, we can know it, but the moment our mind, our language tries to put it into words, it is not it. It's one of the first verses, maybe the first verse of the Tao Te Ching, right? The words are not it, but we know it, we feel it, we sense it, we are it. Our fork down long enough to sense that. Recognizing ease that is possible, inviting it, and not necessarily pushing away unease, noticing our reaction to it, not pushing that away either. And just letting it be here as we make this effortless shift to the one that is with us, resting calmly, forgiving, here with us always. A few more breaths together. And allow yourself to now come to the transition, the conclusion of our sitting practice. You're free to continue afterward, but for the sake of the agility of moving from one activity to another easily, bring the palms in front of the heart or on the heart, bowing, and feel for yourself the gesture, the meaning of this gesture. I honor you, I honor myself, I honor this practice. Grateful for the all the circumstances that allow us to practice together, myself to practice, all the tools, community. Thank you so much for joining me. And I like to give homework to myself and to you. It's been helpful to take a few moments in the morning to think of, for me, literally, there are some food things I have to tend to for my health that I forget in mid-afternoon, and in the morning, I have been reminding myself, sort of put the fork down. Um, you can help yourself with these little slogans to remind yourself later. Just repeat them in some way, or have a poem that points to it, or some inspiration. Some inspiration. Thanks for joining me. Oh, next week, now that I'm going to follow the schedule, I believe, no, it's not next week. Yes, I won't be here next week because I'll be traveling. I don't know. I might not. I'll have somebody else in my place if I'm not. I'll be in Chicago, but I think I can broadcast from the hotel. So have a great week. Check out our sunandmoonstudio.com website for ways to continue practicing together with us. Ciao, ciao.